Well, greetings, everyone. It's really a treat and a pleasure for me to be here today. Like I had said earlier, this is my first online live course that I'm teaching. As you know, we all have had to conform to what's going on in the world. Although I've always been a preferred hands-on person in my classes or in my healings. Uh, what we're learning to do is work more through the ethers this way, which is kind of like the next step in all that we're doing. These are precarious times, without doubt, challenging times. The biggest message I've been trying to come across with students when I go around teaching is during these times, and what I like to refer to as the ascension process, where we're all moving towards a higher degree of being. We must learn, as a fellow human being here on earth, as these energies are becoming more and more prevalent every day and raising our own vibration along with the earth's vibration, it's important to know that during these times, we just need to learn to be the observer of what's going on around us without needing to take it on, because we certainly can take it on very easily, especially now through the internet. And from what we're reading and seeing, even aside from news media, we just need to now learn to ground ourselves in and stand in who we are and allow what is going on in the world to go on, because it needs to go on. We need to be moving through all of this to come out the other side. In that process, because of this ascension process that we're going through, which in fact does not only include humanity, but includes Mother Earth as well and all of its inhabitants, meaning that we're all rising to a higher vibration of being. And we all won't stay here on this planet after it reaches its vibrational point. Those who are choosing to learn their lessons and will obviously stay, and the others who want to fight with themselves will ultimately learn their lessons on another plane, which is fine. It's not a bad thing or a good thing. It just is. But the importance of all of us now, as during these chaotic times, is staying grounded. We know that the most important thing about staying grounded is taking in light is one thing, but being able to hold it for long periods of time requires us to bring it through our column and bring it all the way down to the diamond in the center of the earth to ground it in. And that's when we can hold light for long periods of time. That's when we are fully grounded into this earth plane now. And as we ground ourselves into this earth plane, it'll be much easier for us to be the observer of what's going on around us in this world. Viewing it, yes, making an opinion about it, but also not needing to take it on. It's more important for you to keep yourself protected during these times in order to help others. There's many ways in doing that and staying grounded. um, for a lot of people who are very spiritual, they like being up here. They don't want to be down here. Once again, in order to take in these vast amounts of light that are available now on the planet, we have to be grounded into the earth plane to do it, because we're in physical form. If we weren't, it wouldn't be necessary. So I'm going to talk about different ways and all of that, but I wanted to for those people who meeting for the first time, I just wanted to refer to who I am and what it is that I do. So I've been involved in healing for 30 years now. And for me, it came through practicing a form of Buddhism in the early 80s, and then developing a passion in the mid 80s for crystals by just going to an evening workshop in New Jersey one evening, right after the harmonic convergence, and feeling like I needed to start collecting crystals, not knowing why, which is fine. So after I collected a number of crystals and had them neatly on my windowsills and around the house, I kind of woke up one day and said, well, now what the hell do I do with them? So I decided to go out and learn, and I wanted to learn with some masters. So I sought them out, masters in the crystal world. And one of the first ones was Katrina Raphael. For those of you who don't know who she is, she wrote a trilogy of books in the early 80s, defining and bringing back the ancient art of laying the stones on the body in a professional way. And then also, she also brought forth what is known as the master crystals, the quartz crystals. And so I studied with her, and I wound up having a 20-year working relationship with her. I used to certify people under her school in Kauai until I decided I wanted to open my own school and teach different things. And then there was also a channel who's still around, and his name was Lazarus, and he taught about a lot of different things. He still does, mostly online now. But one of the interesting things that he taught about, and that no one else was talking about, was building relationships with crystals, how to build relationships with them so you can work with them more easily. So I worked with him for quite a few years. And then in 1988, I was in Miami. I was living there. And I ran into this fellow. His name was Peter Chin. And Peter worked directly with Dr. Marcel Vogel out in California. But he happened to have been in Miami doing some work for about a year. So I decided to study with him and learn the Vogel technique way back then. Once again, not knowing really what I was doing, buying a secondhand Vogel crystal for $400 back then, not knowing why, but I was just trusting in that, and also having an ability to have trust in things that my higher self would like me to do, but my lower self fights at times. Fights at times. And so I wound up studying with him for the year he was there, never thinking I would be teaching any of this work. Or I, for me, it was about doing healing work from the beginning, never teaching. And so it was in the early '90s. I was living in outside Manhattan, and I decided to be a part of a Reiki school in Manhattan. And it was a long curriculum, and the master program a year long in itself. And but it was a teaching school, and I wound up being a Usui Reiki master under that school. But it was also a teaching school, and it taught me also about teaching and working with crystals, which has been my passion since I awoke to it in the very early '80s. These days, for me, it's about ascension. It's about helping people getting to where they need to be. Just holding on sometimes can be enough. Teaching about crystals, offering healing work. And I've taught all over the world. Learned a lot of things along the way about people, life, and crystals. And one of the most prophetic things that I had come to learn was knowing that we're just one of the kingdoms here, along with the animal, the plant, and of course the crystal and mineral kingdom. I've always gotten a lot of flack sometimes when I tell people I feel we're the low ones on the totem pole of these kingdoms, and we're here to raise our vibration to meet theirs. With the crystal and mineral kingdom being at the highest point of evolution. And in that clarity of that highest point of evolution, they've chosen to assist mankind now, along with the animal and the plant kingdom, helping us get where we need to be. Because you don't have to be outside this planet looking in to see we need a lot of help. Yes, there's billions of souls that have already evolved, but still it's not enough. We're still waiting for that rest of those souls to evolve, to move on, to raise their consciousness as well. It's one of the most fascinating times to be on this planet, really. And I've been on it many times. But it's one of the most challenging times, because here we're learning how to go up and go down, and just taking that ride and learning along the way what it means to be a conscious being on this planet, so we can raise our vibration, and so then we can move eventually to a higher level of being and of consciousness. And when I said earlier that Mother Earth is also ascending at the same time as its inhabitants, what's even more remarkable is that our solar system is also getting an upgrade at the same time. So it's not just this planet. It's all of the planets in this solar system that are now evolving. And of course, it's how everything is lined up, where there's an ability to move this energy that really is love, because that's what we're learning about, to raise our vibration of who we are, what we've come here to do, and learn our lessons through. I'm optimistic. I think it's already set in stone. Light always supersedes dark, but we need the dark light in order to know what light is and compare it to, because that's why God gives us free will and free choice to learn the lesson we need to learn through. And also just to learn to be kind in the interim with ourselves and others, and also every other living sentient being on this planet.